Welcome to the Project Bring Me Life podcast, talking about the spiritual awakening, metaphysics, and holistic health with artists, musicians, guides, writers, healers, and supporters. So please join us. Wake up and shine on.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. We are coming to you from the Appalachian Mountains here in Cumberland, Maryland at Shine Time Studios, where it is Shine Time all day. So it's a very special episode for you all today. We have a guest who is a spiritual awakening guide. Curtis NeSmith Jr., also known as the Realest Idealist, was born under the perfect conditions to be passionate about his true essence. Out of the multitude of random interests that he has, it prepared him for the year 2015 to move forward with a newfound mission to help people empower themselves and bring an enlightened balance to this planet.
That's beautiful. I'm excited for this podcast, and I'm sure everyone listening is as well.
Yeah, so in this podcast, we talked to him about his book, Awaken Your Awakening. He talks about how he prayed to God and all of a sudden he sort of woke up and began to really hone in on his mission here on Earth. And so we're excited to have you all here on the podcast. Thank you for tuning in and enjoy the show.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us on the show tonight. Our guest is the Realest Idealist, or Curtis NeSmith Jr. So welcome to the show.
How you doing?
Doing very well. It's a great honor to have you on the show tonight.
Oh, thank you. It's my pleasure. My pleasure to be here.
Been looking forward to this one quite a bit. So give us a little bit about yourself, your background, and what projects are you working on?
Okay, so my name is Curtis. I'm currently from Connecticut, and basically what led me to do the Realest Idealist is throughout my life, there's been a couple of things that I've been through that I didn't really notice at the time, but as I got older, I kind of reflect on my past and saw how all the puzzle pieces were coming together for me to do exactly what I'm doing right now. So my whole mission is to just pretty much help empower people to help find their true essence spiritually inside. So that's one of my main things. But as of now, I have a free ebook that's out on my website, therealestidealist.com. What I'm working on right now is actually something like some type of a school or course that just teach people how to awaken and keep their vibration raised to kind of just attract and manifest the things that they desire or to move closer to their true essence. So that's something that I'm working on currently at the moment.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's awesome. Yeah. It seems like our missions align very well.
Oh yeah, yes, definitely.
Definitely. Our plan in 5 years is to have a school out here in the Appalachian Mountain area. So
okay.
We got motorcycles.
Yes, it's definitely interesting.
Yeah, for sure. So what is this Awaken Your Awakening ebook that you have?
All right, so basically, it's just like a small little ebook, kind of like a guide that basically, first of all, it tells my story in a little bit in detail, but along with that, it just kind of lays out like a specific guide that shows people how to awaken the awakening for themselves, and not just how to do it for everyone, but how to tap within yourself to kind of awaken that, and some of the things that you may face along your journey, and just some help on how to deal with those things that you go through.
How would you describe the awakening, or what would your definition of awakening be?
Yeah, see, that's kind of hard because a lot of people define it a lot of different ways, but me, it's just an awakening allows you to see the world in a broader perspective that you once didn't see before. And like once you have that that moment where you're like, I got it, like that's that awakening moment. And then from there, you just keep progressing. I feel like an awakening is never over. You just keep awakening as you go. So I feel like from that day forward, you're awakening.
That's beautiful. I like
Yeah.
that.
I remember for me personally, that moment that I had was, it was Christmas, I believe, or winter 2010, and the Japan tsunami was, a few months before that, and then all of a sudden I had this huge panic attack. I was feeling very overwhelmed by society, by the way we were treating each other, by the way we were living sort of in the material world without focusing on our spirituality. And that's when I decided to quit my jobs and go out into the mountains. And that for me was my awakening story. And in your bio, it says that you started to sort of question what you were told to believe.
Yes.
And so what sort of, were you in a religion?
Oh yes, I was raised as a Christian, and the thing is like I see the similarities, and it's like I don't go against what I used to believe in. I just see it in a different way. So the things I was questioning, like the small things that I didn't resonate so much with, but upon my awakening, I saw the big picture, understood how this relates to everything, the way how I see it now.
Yeah, that's something I definitely can relate to as well. I was raised as Christian, just where for 18 years I was going to church every Sunday with my dad, and there were some things that I didn't really resonate with that was being taught. And in specific, I remember thinking, even as a little child, thinking that I feel like incarnation is something that's real, and I feel like I've incarnated on Earth many times before. And so, and one of the things that you said were that you felt guilty for questioning the
Oh yeah.
Tell us a little more about that.
Well, I guess we kind of know like some religions or some philosophies, ways of life in the communities, it kind of have like I'm trying to think of like it can be like a way how some people run it, it can be like fear-based. So it was always brought up like if you think outside of the box, then something bad will happen to you. And I guess me growing up with that belief, it kind of, I was at conflict with myself and my mind. Like my heart and my mind were going two separate ways, but I wanted to follow my heart. It was saying one thing, and eventually I find it to be correct now, but it's just my mind was still attached to the old belief system that I was following.
Right. I mean, it's kind of a hard thing to let go of something that everyone around you believes in.
Yeah.
To be that outsider a little bit to
Yeah.
stand around. I remember I also went to church growing up and was raised as a Christian and baptized and things. And I remember asking, we got a new preacher at the church I went to, and I remember asking him, well, why aren't the dinosaurs in the Bible? And he just looked at me like I was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I was like, but if God created everything, why can't we have an explanation for the dinosaurs? And he just stared at me and was just like, I can't answer that right now, and like walked away. And I was like, well, you're supposed to be able to answer all my questions. And then he made me feel ridiculous because I had a question that was outside of the box.
Yeah.
I completely understand.
That's funny. What happened to the dinosaurs?
I wanted to know.
Great. So, in a second, after this short break, I want to get your story on when you prayed for guidance. So
Okay.
So let's take a short break and we'll be right back.
All right.
The PBM2L podcast will return shortly after a brief message from our sponsors. Nick Meter's mission is to liberate and empower people. Nick is a holistic facilitator, intuitive coach, and author. He leads healing and self-development with focus on communication and awareness. Visit his website for more information about private sessions, workshops, and more at ndmeter.wordpress.com. Use the promo code PBM2L for a free 30-minute DreamWorks session.
Hey guys, Shantastic Shine here. Do you have any aches or pains? Damage from an accident? Or maybe just a bad case of nerves? Have you ever looked into crystal energy therapy? If you take a moment to check out my personal website, you'll find an assortment of items all made with Reiki healing energy. They've also been charged and cleansed by the full moon or candlelight. I also make custom crystal prescription pieces to aid personal selection of aches, pains, and other desires. There are crystals ranging from back pain to heartache, pregnancy, and even protection or abundance. Take a peek today at shantasticshine.com. I hope to see you there. Shine on.
Thanks for listening to this message from our sponsors. Now back to the Project Premier Life episode.
All right, everyone, and we're back here with the Realest Idealist, Curtis NeSmith Jr., and we were talking to him about his ebook, Awaken Your Awakening. We were talking about the awakening, some sort of conflict that we all go through when we are in a religious sort of group, like, Christianity, like we are.
Just growing up in a specific background and breaking out of the box.
Yeah, and nothing bad about Christianity, I still go to church and I still resonate with a lot of things, but it's sort of like you said, Curtis, in a different light.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's get your story on when you were praying for guidance. Tell us more about this.
Okay, so at this point, I've been, because I'm naturally very curious. So after a few months of discovering some things that was outside of that belief system that I was raised in, it started to become more intriguing to me, and I want to just learn more. So the more research that I started to do, it just, I guess my old belief system, just being raised with that religion, I just started having a lot of internal conflict and started questioning, am I doing something wrong? And I feared like I didn't want to go to hell for just being curious and wanting to find the truth for myself. Because like I said, at that point, everything was kind of telling me to go this way. And like naturally, I'm curious, and also naturally, I like to be my own free thinker. So if somebody tells me what to believe in, okay, I'll take it with a grain of salt, but I need to know for like myself. So with all the conflict I was feeling inside myself, I kind of just broke down one night and I just prayed like with all that I have. Like I put so much emotion into that. I don't think there's anything else that I put into emotion more than that night in that prayer. And then I just asked God and the universe and to give me a sign that if what I'm doing is wrong, then just please show me, or if what I'm doing is right, just give me a sign so I could know where to go from here. And then I went to sleep that night and I woke up the next morning. And when I woke up that morning, I had a few years ago, not a few years ago, a couple of years ago, my grandmother had passed away. And at her funeral, there was some cards that was passed at her funeral, and I always kept it on my wall. But after the years passed, I knew it was there, but I didn't pay that much attention to it because I kind of got used to seeing it every morning passing by. But when I woke up that morning, that was like immediately the first thing that I was drawn to. So I woke up and I walked over to it. And on the bottom of the card, it said, every person reaches heaven by climbing their own particular stairway. And as soon as I read that, that's when I knew that my own path, that's what I have to be on to reach my quote unquote heaven, or to reach my just true essence. This is the path that I have to take, what's in my heart. And then ever since then, it's just been full speed ahead, constant progression. And I don't doubt that path that I took ever since then. So that was like one of the greatest moments. And that was my like awakening phase, my awakening moment that morning.
That is a beautiful story, and
Thank you.
I'm so glad that your grandma was able to give you that message too, because grandmas have a special place in my heart. And
Yeah.
when I started my awakening, I want to say it was like my second or third awakening, because I go through chapters where I'm like awake and then I drift off and then I get something big that happens. I actually lost my grandma last year, and she was like pretty much like my mom and the main figure in my life. And I also had a similar breakdown where I was just like, am I doing the right thing right now? And my aunt pulled out this notebook, and it was one of the last notebooks that my grandma had like written things in when she was trying to learn how to write again, because she like had a stroke and couldn't write. and she was writing letters to each person, and everyone else had these like crazy like paragraphs and stuff, and the only thing that mine said was, Shannon, follow God, he'll lead you. And that was like my like message, because I did something very similar. And it's so funny how spirit and spirit guides and people can just give you those messages, and
Yeah.
it's a beautiful way to tell people, look for those things. People are talking to you from the other side to help you along your path still.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with that too. Definitely.
My question for you is, when you broke down and prayed to God, were you in a specific place? Were you in your room? Did you go to an area that made you feel comfortable, or?
Yeah, I was in my room. I was in my room. And that's the place where I just feel, that's the place where I meditate, the place where I pray. Like, I feel like my energy is just, I don't know, for some reason, I just get more in tune with what I'm doing, like in my room in a specific place.
Makes sense. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that for sure is really beautiful. And, you know, I know you have this video on YouTube. You have a beautiful YouTube channel.
Oh,
You do.
thank you.
Yeah, and one of the videos is 3 signs of a spiritual awakening.
Oh, yeah.
Let's, is it okay if we play that clip for everybody?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yes.
Okay, let's go ahead and take this break and watch this clip, and we'll be right back.
At first, it may feel like a crisis, but you may be mistaken. Because out of this experience, you too can awaken. Yeah, that's right. I'm Curtis, the Realest Idealist. And today I'm going to go over the 3 biggest signs. That's right, the 3 biggest signs of a spiritual awakening. So stay attuned. Okay, so an awakening doesn't always have to come out of a dark place. It doesn't always have to come out of struggle. For some it may, and for others it may be a smooth transition. I'm just here to tell you, or to share with you, my experience with an awakening from my own spiritual journey, and what I have witnessed from other people's journeys as well. Like I said, it doesn't always have to come out of dark times, but no matter how your transition happens, I have come to find that there are 3 fundamental things that will happen to you during your awakening in the grand scheme of things. So let's jump right into it. The first biggest sign of a spiritual awakening is not feeding the illusion. You're not going to want to feed the illusion anymore. What do I mean by illusion? Some people may call this the Matrix. If you've seen the movie The Matrix, you should have a firm idea of what I'm talking about. The ancient Sanskrit word Maya also translates to the illusion. We're speaking of the same thing. What is the illusion? Well, the illusion is ego-based. It is ego-driven. The illusion sells fear and separation. You turn on the mainstream media, turn on the news, they're selling you fear. Fear. People buy it. When you look within our society, it focuses on separation. My God is better than your God. My nation is better than your nation. My skin color is different from your skin color. But when you have your awakening, you truly realize that we are all connected. And you tend to focus more on the unity of people than the separation. Focusing on separation is very ego-driven, ego-based, and it leads to hate crimes, wars, discrimination, things like that. The second biggest sign of a spiritual awakening is that you will find that you will want to further develop your fitness and your overall health. I'm not sure about other places in the world, but I live in America. Let me just tell you something about this free land we live in. When it comes to the food, for the mass majority of it, most of the general food that you will find in supermarkets are not pure. When you have your awakening, you will also discover, you may discover, that your body is your temple. And you're going to want to take care of that. Even though we're here for a short amount of time here on earth, we're renting this body. While we are renting this body, we want to take the best care of it. So to get more into health and fitness, it's kind of inevitable. You will have self-respect, more self-love. The third biggest sign of a spiritual awakening is a further or a deeper interest in self-development. And when I say self-development, I don't necessarily mean going to your nearest bookstore and buying all the Eckhart Tolle books. It can mean that, but what I really truly mean is that having the desire to broaden your mind, to broaden your perception, to understand things a little bit more, to know thyself, to self-educate, to question things. All these different things is a part of self-development. To be able to move into your truest essence. To have the discipline to live in abundance, to practice things that you need to do to be able to live in abundance. That is true self-development. Now, these three biggest signs form a trinity, a holy trinity of the mind, the body, and the spirit. The mind being self-development, the body being health and fitness, and the spirit is not being a part of delusion, seeing past the illusion. The illusion is ego-based, but for your spirit, we're moved past the ego. Okay? Mind, body, spirit, trinity. If you would like more information on the entire awakening experience, then download my free ebook titled Awaken Your Awakening. It is available at my website, therealestidealist.com, or you can click the links in this video or description box. In this book, this free ebook, you will walk with me on my journey through my own personal spiritual awakening. And I will also give you some tips and some insight on the entire process. Before your awakening, during your awakening, and after your awakening. Always remember, in Lakesh, I am another you, and you are another me. So stay attuned, peace, and enjoy your awakening.
Welcome back from that short break. I'm glad that you had a second to watch that video. It was awesome. And now we're going to continue talking to Curtis about his awakening experience.
Yeah, sure. So a lot of really amazing things are coming through, and if it sort of takes me back to, you know, all those moments of awakening that we all go through. Like you said, we go through chapters of awakening.
Yeah, sure.
And I don't know, what do you feel about that, Realist?
Yeah, from my experience, I could tell I also been going through like chapters and some things where I kind of feel like I'm stuck, but then like months later, I will just pick up, and I don't understand why it works like that or if it has to work like that. But from my experience, I definitely see like the chapters within my spiritual journey. So it's pretty interesting to go back and like I keep a journal, just keep everything written down so I could just know and see my progress and track it. And yeah, I definitely notice the blocks of just light that just comes through at a specific time. I'm not sure why, but yeah, I'm aware of it.
For sure. Sometimes I wonder if it has to do with just the way the moon and the stars are. And that being said, I read a little bit of your bio, and I saw that you like to point out the fact that you are a Gemini. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? About what it means to be a Gemini and things like that?
I'm not exactly sure what it means to be a Gemini, but me being a Gemini, it's like I have so many different interests, like things just intrigue me so much. So it was kind of hard for me to it's hard to me to focus on just one thing. And I've been trying to do that for so long, but I have so many different things I'm interested in. Like, I guess they say Geminis are good at expressing their communication. I actually do feel that with me, and I'm growing with that as well. But for things like, I'm really big into music as well, like creating music, listening to music. So I feel like I view spirituality as like art, just like interpreting life and then see art like the same way. So it's like just expressing it this way. It just, I don't know where I was going with that, but I don't know what that to do with Gemini. But basically, just being a Gemini is every time I read about it, it sums me up to the T. So I'm learning astrology and everything as I go along on my journey. But as of now, it's when you read about Gemini, I say it's definitely me.
For sure.
Definitely.
As far as being a Gemini, I think it'll help a lot with your curiosity, because there's that one, like you said, there's the one side of you that really wants to kind of like be obedient and abide by all the things that we were taught and stuff, and then there's that other side of you that's really curious. And
Yeah.
my brother's a Gemini, and he's the same way. He really wants to be how the family is and how he's told, but he's always like into his own thing and trying to reach out and take care of other people and stuff like that too. So I think the zodiacs have a lot to do with our personality. A lot of people like to say, "Oh no, they don't. That's just something that people made up back in the day." But I see a lot of synchronicities with how they're explained. So I thought it was interesting that you mentioned that you were a Gemini in your bio. Not many people will just like broadly say that. I'm a Leo.
Oh, yeah.
I'm proud of it.
Leo, and I'm proud of it.
I mean, it's totally a Leo statement. Didn't even realize it, but see, point proven.
Yeah, that's I love that. But so you do have this YouTube channel where you make videos of tips and just little bits of information for people who are going through that spiritual awakening. And I called you a spiritual awakening guide. Is that something
yeah.
you resonate with?
Oh yeah, definitely. That was my first time hearing it. I actually liked it a lot when I seen it. So I definitely thank you for that. So I actually have a title I couldn't put myself, because before I was thinking like, I don't really have a title, but that's a perfect one.
Yeah.
Perfect one.
Sure.
So I sort of want to fill in this gap between creating your YouTube channel and your videos from when you had your original awakening. So you went through your awakening, you prayed to God, you had that aha moment, and then what happened after that?
After that, I just kind of went full speed in the direction I was aiming towards. And I started by doing a lot of research on other religions and just connecting the dots, just so I could understand that there's not just one way. But if there is just one way, then all ways are that one way. So I was just pretty much just broadening my mind and focusing on the similarities of all these different religions and philosophies. And along with that, I was doing a lot of research on like ancient esoteric meanings upon just things and just like spiritual information, a lot of spiritual communities. I just been researching the information that they were speaking of and just kind of just nonstop research. Yeah.
What religions were you getting into?
Yeah, that was kind of a long time ago. I actually forgot most of the stuff that I was researching, but the main thing I got that it was all pretty much interconnected. But a lot of the things, like pretty much all the main ones I was researching, like definitely Christianity, a couple of ancient ones as well. Like one of the biggest ones I did study was like the ancient Egyptian religions and their ways of philosophizing and everything. So those are the main things.
Yeah, I remember myself reading a little bit about the ancient Egyptian religion, and they have a lot of similarities to the Christian religion. It's funny how they interpret things a little differently, though.
Yeah.
In Christianity, the Son dies, the Son of God, Jesus Christ dies for 3 days and then comes back to life. In the ancient Egyptian religion, it's the sun, literally the sun that we have that gives us light, went down and the world was dark for 3 days and then rose again. And it seems like, like you said, there's a lot of
similarities between all these different religions. And would you say, you said that all ways are one way? What is the main thing from all religions? What is the main thing that they're speaking about?
Okay, from what I have seen, I know there's probably some religions that are like negative, but I mean like all the positive religions, pretty much they all promote just unity and love, like love as being the answer and unity. And I feel like if they all have good intentions and preach that same message, then that's all that matters.
For sure.
I was writing that down because I feel like it's good to remember that. That's a beautiful way of describing it. All the positive religions preach is love and unity, and that's a big thing for this world.
Yeah, love is definitely the backbone of pretty much life. I think it's very interesting that there's only like a vow difference between love and life, and definitely like the cornerstone to every positive religion that I know as well. And I did a lot of searching, and I think that's part of the awakening.
Yeah, definitely.
Lots of research, and that's part of the reason I think it's so awesome that you also are interested in like the school aspect of it and being able to teach others. And it's so important because I won't say we were like the first generation to really awaken, but our generation seems so curious about it, and I know the younger generation is even more curious about it. So if we are able to open that pathway for others to go somewhere rather than have to do all the research at school, these people have already went through this pain of trying to figure out their place, and we'll be able to offer them a space of love and unity.
Definitely. I like that. And I feel like also the fact that's why I'm always grateful that I was born at this specific time, because the power of the internet alone helped me so much in my journey. And I feel like without the internet, I would not be this far as I am now. And then I feel like maybe I wouldn't even have the opportunity to fully awaken, depending on what situation or what my surroundings were like. But I feel like the power of the internet to get the message out there is so much more powerful.
That's for sure. I feel like that's the same for us too, because without that internet, we wouldn't be able to be here and share stories. And we also, I want to give a shout out to Samantha, one of our biggest fans, who gave us the introduction to you, and she's a huge supporter of both what you're doing and what we're doing. And the internet has brought us closer to her, and she's across the country. So being able to reach those people wherever they may be is such a beautiful time and age to live in, as you said.
Definitely.
Very well put. I definitely agree. Without the internet, none of us would be here, obviously. So you could do a lot of great things with the internet. You could do a lot of not great things with the internet, but it's all about using it to our advantage, and we can work with technology to improve this world.
Sure.
So, did you want to talk a little bit about your YouTube channel? I know you have, a lot of great, amazing videos.
The YouTube channel, The Realest Idealist, basically, I try to keep the clips a little short just to kind of to grab the attention of a lot of people if they're into spirituality already, or if they're not. Just because I feel like self-development and spirituality kind of goes hand in hand. So if I could kind of get merge both of like those niche markets together to kind of help them in their awakening, or if they're already going through awakening, to help them further. So basically it's just information about spirituality, some philosophy, some self-development. But as I go along, it's still developing. So as I go along, continue to go, I'm gonna just find my flow a little more and understand what my main goal is towards my YouTube channel.
That's awesome. Do you have a specific video that you're really proud of, or one that has gotten a lot of response for you?
Actually, yeah, the clip that you played earlier, the signs of a spiritual awakening, I feel like that's my favorite, because that's what the website and the channel is, in the book, the ebook, is pretty much all about, just going through a spiritual awakening and what it is, what to expect, how to get through it. But other than that, I would say another one which means a lot to me personally is I might get the name of this wrong, but I believe it's called Spirituality versus Religion or something like that. And it pretty much just tells my story and how I feel about the spiritual path versus the religious path. Like, I don't have anything bad to say about either, but just for me personally, that was my specific insight and how I see it.
Beautiful. Do you mind if we take a minute to check that video out real quick?
Oh, you can check it out. You can check it out. Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Spirituality versus religion. Here is the main reasons why I choose spirituality over religion. I have been on both ends of the spectrum, and I would definitely choose spirituality every single time, and I will tell you why, so stay tuned. The main reason why I choose spirituality over religion, and before I start this, let me just say I have nothing against religion. It has its place in the universe and I respect that. But some people resonate more with religion and other people's resonate more with spirituality. I just happen to be a person who resonates more with spirituality. This is my path. I'm not trying to change your mind. I'm not trying to sway you in any way. I'm just here to share my story so you can understand. So anyway, back to what I was saying. The main reason why I choose spirituality over religion is because I study history. Yeah, that's right. I study history. And what does history tell me? History tells me not to trust in man. You see? In man. I don't trust in man. Men lie. Men are imperfect. See what's going on? But you know what hasn't lied to me? You know what hasn't lied to me? What's inside of me. My heart and my intuition. That never steers me in the wrong direction. I can't trust man to lead me in the right direction every single time, but I could trust my heart and my intuition to guide me in the right direction. Because that is what, man didn't make my heart. Man didn't make my intuition. You see what I'm saying? The universe, God, whatever you want to identify the bigger picture with. That's what created that. So I trust those things. The reason why I'm an entrepreneur is because I do not like the idea of reporting to some man who calls himself my boss, but yet he's made up of the same flesh and blood that I'm made up of. My boss, really? I don't sit right with that. The reason why I'm such a nonconformist free thinker is because I'm not okay with just going with the flow of society's opinion. I can't just do that. I'm not a follower. No offense to anyone else, but I gotta think for myself. It's in my heart. I just have to. And I stand up for what I believe in every single time. The reason why I am a natural whole food vegan eater, and the reason why I make my own juices, make my own salad dressing, make my own food, and eventually grow my own food is because I do not trust in certain companies and corporations. Something as important as food, I want to have control over it because I do not know what they're doing to it. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that most of the things that I do, I get it either directly from the source and I stay in alignment with my true self. So what am I saying? There's no way that I feel like I have to go through a pastor, a priest, a minister, a rabbi to get to God. Why is that? When these people are no more gifted than I am, they're not more blessed than I am. You see? I feel like we shouldn't fall under the illusion that some people are the chosen ones and others are not. We are all the chosen ones, but the chosen ones, the so-called chosen ones, just know how to tap into that space. We all have the potential to tap into alignment with what some people may call source energy, the bigger picture. And that's what I chose to do after my awakening. I said, wait a minute, I don't need these people to find truth because the truth is within me as well. I'd rather get my own story, my own interpretations than have it handed down into me. It reminds me of elementary school. We used to play this game called telephone. I know you know this analogy. It would start with, we would all get in a circle in the room. One person will whisper a secret to the person next to them until it goes all around, whispering the same secret. By the time the last person says it out loud, that secret is a completely different secret from the original person who told the secret. Then that original message will be completely different or slightly different. What I'm trying to say, instead of having all these things passed down unto me, I'd rather go straight to the source. I trust in myself. There was at times where I didn't, and I didn't realize that I didn't, but after I awakened, I realized that I didn't, and then I started to do it. I didn't, and I didn't realize that I didn't, but after I awakened, I realized that I didn't, and then I started to do it. And then I started to thrive, slowly but surely. And that is the reason why I would choose spirituality over religion every single time. But that's just for me. But just to level the playing field a little bit, what I do want to say is that no matter if you do choose religion over spirituality or spirituality over religion, it's the same thing. It's just looking at it from two different ways. You see, they say that religion is trusting in someone else's experience and spirituality is trusting in your own experience. But at the same time, we are all speaking of the same thing. In one way or another, we believe in the same thing in essence. Maybe slightly different things, like details may be different. But in the grand scheme of things, we believe that there is something bigger than us and we honor that. And there's nothing wrong with that, okay? So there's nothing wrong with religion. I don't bash people who are religious, not at all. I just don't personally like to identify with that. But that's just me. No ill will, no offense. Always remember, in Lakesh, I am another you, and of course, you are another me. So stay attuned. Peace.
All right, everybody, and we're back. Thank you for watching that clip. We are here with the Realest Idealist, aka Curtis NeSmith Jr. And one question that we were curious about was your name, the Realest Idealist. A lot of people say Realest Idealist, but they spell it with an I.
Yeah.
So could you explain a little bit about why you spell realist with the E on the
Yeah, so it's a little play on words, like realism versus idealism. And that's why in the logo, I kind of have both of the realists written out. But what I really wanted to portray is that, like, realism versus idealism, I want to bring the balance back into this world. So like light versus dark, bring the balance. Realism and idealism bring the balance. So that's the reason why I kind of have them both laid out that way. But I emphasize more on realist, the L-E-S-T, because I feel like, for me personally, even though I kind of balance realism and idealism, I lean more towards idealism, but in a way where I feel like I'm the realist idealist. So it's kind of like a play on words. At the same time, it has a little meaning behind the essence of the channel, what I'm trying to do with the website.
Sure, I like it.
Yeah. So is there anything else that you wanted to talk about or anything that we missed that you might have wanted to mention?
Yeah, just for anybody that's watching this video or anybody who stumbles upon this video, just if you are going through your spiritual awakening or if you are going through something spiritual that you know is happening within your life, say the best thing to do is just to connect with other people that are experiencing the same things that you are experiencing. So either you could visit the Project Bring Me to Life website and just follow them. Just follow me at therealestidealist.com. and to just stay connected so we're all in this together anyway. We are all one, we're all connected. And this road, this challenge, it is challenging. This road, the spiritual road can be very challenging. And if you're going through it by yourself, it will make it 10 times harder. But going through it with people that are going through it as well, the community is one of the best feelings in the world, to be connected with others that are going through the same thing. And that is basically it.
That's awesome. Well, it has been an awesome interview, and I'm really grateful that you had the time to come on with us. And we're glad that you were able to make it on webcam and the interview. We know you were supposed to be one of our last podcasts on season 1, but now you were awesome and able to be a part of season 2, which is bigger and better and super charged. So thanks for bearing with us and joining us.
No problem at all. Thank you. Thank you very much for having me on the show. And also a shout out to Samantha. Thank you for introducing me to Project Bring Me to Life. And it's been my pleasure. It's been a great experience.
Yeah, so you can find the Realest Idealist on YouTube. Just search the Realest, REALEST Idealist, and follow him there. And
yep, and check out his bio on projectbringmetolife.com. And we are so glad you joined us for today's interview.
Thank you very much.
meditation has been proven over and over with studies from well-established schools like Harvard University to grow gray matter in the part of the brain associated with memory, learning, empathy, reduced stress, and countless others. Join Suleiman with his first official meditation CD, including 4 studio-quality recordings, including all original music. Become mindful of your world with mindfulness. Learn about healing major energy centers of the body with chakra cleanse. Begin to forgive the past and move forward in life with forgiveness. Connect with your soul and ignite your heart with the true you. To get this meditation CD, all you have to do is go to projectbringmelife.com and click on the merch page next to the home tab.
This week is the energy forecast for May 11th through the 16th. And it's really not about starting something new, but more about following through with something you've already started. The moon is in the last quarter, and it's really kind of pointing towards some sort of crisis in the consciousness. And just after everyone's going through this huge awakening period symbolized by the full moon of last week, it's just really now a time to take in and soak in all the knowledge of the projects you've been working on. And due to the light of the moon kind of going away now, we're just taking away those layers and working towards bigger projects. So this week's just not about starting something new. It's really about following through with things you've started and trying to figure out what's best for the divine path and allow the universe to guide you in that direction. Now, the sun is also in Taurus, and Mercury is in Gemini. It's also about to go into retrograde soon, so it's kind of good that we're having this more quiet period of like finishing up what we've started before all kinds of projects start going a little crazy during Mercury retrograde. So be prepared for that. Venus is in Cancer, and Mars is shifting from Taurus into Gemini, which is kind of the highlight of the astral energy world right now. And Saturn is in Sagittarius, and Uranus is entering into Aries. So it's a lot of planets in different areas. Not too many of them are moving around a whole lot right now. They're kind of waiting it out for spring. Other than that, Mars is shifting, and it's hitting a major stumbling block as it heads into like its once a year opposition to Saturn, and it's just putting on a lot of brake lights for people. So you might feel like you're not getting where you're going fast enough, and you just feel like you're starting and stopping a lot, and that's happening for a lot of people. And at the same time, a lot of people are really busy in May. It's kind of a hard time to make opportunities, open new doors and things like that. But at the same time, it's just because everyone's doing so much. So be open and know that everyone's trying to make some big decisions right now. It's spring cleaning time, and people are really just thinking about where they want to go for this new awakening and this new summer and this year that we're all enjoying together. And I think a lot of people are making some really big changes. So that is the energy forecast for this week. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit slower, but I think that's just how the energy feels. Everyone's a little bit worn out from putting so much into those projects that they're trying to finish up. So keep on shining, and I'm going to give it on over to Seelman for the solar flare update.
Okay, thank you, Shantastic, for that wonderful forecast. Hey everyone, it's Seelman here with your solar flare update for this week of May 12th, 2015. So there have been close to 70 solar flares from last Tuesday, May 5th, including an X-class flare late that night. The X-class flare came from sunspot 2339. So keep an eye on this one for this week. Solar wind from a coronal hole is expected to reach Earth this May 12th through the 13th, causing that majestic aurora borealis. The bright objects on dwarf planet Ceres are beginning to come into focus with more pictures that the Dawn spacecraft is sending back. A story published on CNET by Eric Mack read, "As NASA's Dawn spacecraft gets a closer look at Ceres, the largest object in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, and at the mysterious reflective bright spots on the surface, we could be getting our first glimpse at evidence of intelligent extraterrestrial life." The principal investor of the Dawn mission said, "Dawn scientists can now conclude that the intense brightness of these spots is due to the reflection of sunlight by highly reflective material on the surface, possibly ice." What do you think? Could it be signs of an advanced civilization? Could it be a lake of ice? Comment below. Share this video on Facebook and Twitter. Tell us what you think.
Hi guys, I'm excited to do today's Shantastic Shine card reading. We're out in the nature. I got my Angel Dreams Oracle deck by Doreen Virtue and Melissa Virtue. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle and do a 3-card spread for you guys. That way they're facing you. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and flip them over. So these cards are here to show us a couple of things. The Dream Guide card shows as a reminder that your dream guide is always with you. It's supporting and protecting you along your journey, and that you're allowed to ask for guidance. It's a good time to journal what your guides are showing you and teaching you, and also to pay attention to all the details that are showing up in your dreams. It's a part of a larger message. Your dream guide also reminds you that there are many lessons to learn and offer others. You are a teacher, as well as a listener, but employ your teaching abilities now. The white card is also the crown chakra card, and it's here to remind you of the divinity within you. White represents the crown chakra, and purification, transformation, and just your connection to source. It's a color that reflects all colors, and it's a reminder that you have all that you need within you. So be sure to connect with the divine today, and just remember that it's a time of enlightenment. Now the nettle shows to give us caution and to set some boundaries. It's a good time to warn yourself to maintain those boundaries. You might be in a situation that needs to be approached with a little bit more caution than usual, and red flags may be showing up, but it's really a good idea to be gentle with yourself. Take care of yourself and protect yourself. It's a plant of metaphysical protection, and it encourages adaptability and flexibility. It's also a good shield from harmful energies. It's also a good teacher of healthy boundaries, as well as keeping away negativity and danger. Its additional meanings could also be Archangel Michael or Raphael are here to help you with this, to help guard your boundaries and just nourish your ideas and protect you from anything that you may be worried about at this time. So overall, we have a really good spread. Like I said, it's a good time to connect with your divine space and your divine source and just allow your guides to help you. But it's okay to have your boundaries with those in the reality world that could be affecting you a little bit stronger than normal. So that is today's Shantastic Shine card reading, and I thank you for listening and tuning into this episode. Shine on.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to Project Bring Me to Life. I hope this episode inspired you in some way. After the show, take a moment and share us on your favorite social media, be it Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Thanks in advance. Stay awake and shine on always.